Yo, what up, y'all? It's like 7:01. I'm gonna wait for a few people to get before we get started. Just had dinner, so you know I got the itis. Fresh out the shower. We're gonna continue talking about basic recording. All right, let's get into it. So let's see. We were talking about recording a little bit last time, and basically, if you want to be a singer or a rapper, then you might want to get familiar with getting studio time. So you want to think about getting with an engineer. There's going to be a little bit of review of last class, so make sure you pay attention. If you want me to preview some of my new songs, I'll do some of that. They're not out yet. Actually, today I just got back some mastered beats, and I gotta talk to DeeJay Classic, who's gonna give me my complete files done. So you'll hear some songs that I got. They were mastered by one person, but I wanted them to get remastered by somebody else who I thought was gonna do a better job. So anyways, let me talk a little bit about that, right? I had somebody mix and master a project, a 6-song project, an EP, and essentially what happened was excuse me. Essentially what happened was I overheard one track being louder than the other. So if you listen to each song cross together, and you listen very carefully, you'll hear that one track is louder than the other. So when you hear things like that, you wanna go back and get the job done properly. All right. So remember, when you mix a track, it basically means that so you're recording the track, then you're recording your vocals, and then basically you're cleaning up some of the empty space in between. Like if you said nothing in between one word and another word, you just have to clear that space out so that there isn't anything that extra that could have came out during that vocal, during that recording. So all right, so today I'll just give you like a little example of what I did with somebody. So today, one of my clients came by. I took him to the studio, and I had him step into the booth, and I was working with the engineer on recording him. I didn't notice that he didn't have his headphones on, so I had to open up the booth and tell him, like, hey, actually put your headphones on. You have to make sure that you can hear yourself. So when you speak into the microphone, you have to make sure you hear it back. Some people don't like to hear it back, which kind of throws them off a little bit. So it all depends on your style of recording. If you're in the booth and then you put your headphones on and you realize that you're hearing your own voice kind of freaks you out a little bit, then the engineer can turn that off so you can just rap to the beat. So anyways, when my client came in to the studio, I told him that maybe he should start with the chorus first. Later I realized he didn't have a chorus, which is okay, but he had a song where he wanted to really focus on the verses. And then in between the verses, he had like a small interview that he wanted to come out and in between the songs. So what we had to do is we downloaded the beat. I had it prior to him coming to the session. So I sent the beat over to the engineer. He was familiar with the beat. He kind of mixed the beat a little bit to make it sound a little bit better. It sounded a little distorted, so he was kind of messing with the beat a little bit. Then from there, we kind of explained to the artist, my client, how he could kind of deliver the song. So what he did was essentially he got in the booth, he heard the beat a little bit, and one good thing that he did was that he was already he had already rehearsed. He had already rehearsed his delivery for the song. So I was pretty impressed that he was ready to kind of like deliver the song. So he started off with recording his first verse. So he recorded his first verse, and then from there, he made like a couple of mistakes. The engineer had to delete those takes, and then he did it again until he got it correctly. He was somebody who didn't need too many takes, which I was pretty happy about because it doesn't waste any time. There was one part where the engineer asked him if he wanted to punch in. Now, punch in means that, let's say he got through half of his verse and then messed up, and he didn't want to start from the beginning again. He can start rapping like a few bars in to that verse and then finish the rest of the verse. So what I mean by that is like maybe you recorded from here to there and then all of a sudden you screwed up. You don't have to go all the way to the beginning. You can record from there on and finish your verse. We decided we didn't want to punch him in because it sounds better when you can do everything in one take. Sometimes it sounds unnatural when you punch in. Your delivery might be different from when you punch in versus when you just do when you deliver your whole thing in one, your whole verse in one take. So he had two verses, so his song structure was a little bit different. He had a verse, essentially a small interview in between, and then a verse after. The reason why he wanted it that way is because he wanted to kind of have like a very strong message. And then I asked him to kind of think about doing an intro where he can kind of say something about himself or say something to introduce the song. And he decided to do something very short and to the point. And then we noticed that there was some beat left over at the end of the song. So what we did is we cut down the beat a little bit and we faded it out a little bit right after his verse. We professionally mixed and mastered his track, but we realized that he didn't really, he didn't like the delay. And people who don't really record call it an echo, which is the same thing. It's just like when you record, there's a delay, or like you'll hear the rhyme word or whatever word over again slightly in the background. That is how most people professionally record, where you hear some sort of delay. But he decided that he didn't want to do it that way, so we got rid of the delay. So we gave him two versions of the song. We gave him the song with the delay and the song without the delay, and he was happy with the one without the delay. So when you record, if you listen to some rappers, you'll hear a slight echo in the background. That's called delay. If you want the delay on there, then we can add that. If you want, he was also a person who didn't want in and outs. So I call them dubs, people call them in and outs. It's basically like an emphasis on the rhyme word. So when you're doing your first verse, let's say you might say something like, I'm chilling in the studio looking like Coolio, don't be a foolio. So something like that you might want to say over like Coolio, foolio. Those are dubs because you didn't say the whole verse, you went in and out. So it's kind of the repetition of the rhyme word. All right, so he didn't want to do those, and he didn't want to do ad-libs, which is totally fine. Remember, ad-libs are like when you kind of say whatever you want behind the verse. So like, let's say you delivered your whole verse and you go back and record ad-libs. It's just something that's in the background, like, hey, yeah, it's good. Or like, it's all those things that are kind of like random in the background. The person who does ad-libs, which I mentioned before, Young Jeezy. I mean, he now just goes by Jeezy, but he was big on having ad-libs, short verses, and then a lot of ad-libs. So anyways, the structure of his song, again, was pretty simple. It was a short intro, verse, a break within the beat where he wanted like a slight interview that came in from, and then from there he did the second verse, and after that he just faded the song out. That's what he wanted. I personally wanted him to have a chorus. The engineers thought that it was all right the way it was. He wanted his song to be his way, and he was happy with the product. And at the end of the day, the artist or the client, it has to be happy with the product when he takes it away from the studio. That's probably the most important thing. I was speaking to my engineer about it, and he was him and I were saying, well, we gave him the most professional mix and master. But if he decides to change it because he wants it a certain way, then we have to respect that. All right. So I'll give you an example of like, if you take a look at my screen up top, I know it's inverted, but for the sake of this, it doesn't really matter. So when people are mixing your music, or mixing specifically, you see these lines right here. So when you see these lines up top, all right, the green one, purple one, and this reddish one, and other lines, right? Those are all recordings. So a person, so the mix and master is extremely important, and I appreciate you saying that. So Randy is on there, and he's a great producer from Boston. Check out his stuff. All right. Mixing your beat is very important. Every instrument has to be mixed. That means that all the levels has to be perfect. Everything should be quantized. Everything should be fall on beat. You have to make sure you mix the bass, the snare, the kick, any drums, synths, all of that. All right. So make sure that you have a person create your beat, and that is mixed and mastered. If you receive a beat that's kind of distorted or sounds off, you need to ask that person to give it to you mixed and mastered. Then you gotta talk about vocals. You gotta really think about your vocals and have that mixed and mastered properly as well. So let me just give you a quick example of like when you mix something, right? I'm gonna take a look at that green line up top. And remember, I don't really consider myself an engineer, although I can engineer and I can do everything that an engineer does. I choose not to because I respect their craft. I was talking about that earlier. If I know somebody can do it better than me, I'm gonna pay somebody to do it better than me, better than I could. So it's really important for you to think about what you want to do. We had the conversation about whether you want to be a full artist or whether you want to be a producer, right? So you kind of have to a certain extent, choose which lane you want to be in, because if you're spending time mixing and mastering, there might be time that you should be spending on writing rhymes and lyrics, and then you could just choose the beat and work with the engineer to kind of bring you to that top-notch sound. All right, so quick example of mixing, right? Look at this line right here, this green line. All of this right here on this green line is not needed. So what I might do is just cut it out. Now in this case, it's selecting everything, but I don't want it to select everything, so I'll just kind of click here. Well, if you bring everything here, I just lost all of this recording below. All right, so I have everything selected, but I don't really want it selected. What I really want to do is have one line and then delete just that part. So you kind of want to educate yourself on what to do. All right, and the engineer might just select one line and delete that one. So let's say at the end of this beat, for example, I wanted to cut all this down, then I will bring it back this way, and the beat will be there. So this is all grouped right now, so it's all moving together, but usually I could just do one line. Like I said, I'm not gonna focus too much on that, because an engineer will do all that work for you. Now each one of these has like levels and stuff, and there's different, here you have the all these knobs, right? And they're called engineers because they work with engines. Consider these like knobs and buttons and all that stuff. So if you have one of these, each track represents one of these lines. So what you want to do is basically make sure that the levels are correct. So you have little volume tabs right here that go up and down. All right. All that, this is all grouped together, which means like I somehow selected everything when I exported this file. I selected everything. It's probably what happened. So now if I select one thing, it'll do it for everything. Not a big deal, but you know, this isn't a lesson on Pro Tools. It's more like a lesson on the basics of mixing and mastering. So what I did particularly with this track, I'll show you kind of like how I work. And I have a producer who I send these vocals out to, and then he'll mix and master them. He'll clean them up for me, and then he'll send me back like a fresh new beat. So I might use like a reference track. So what I have here is actually like a reference track. So I can let you hear some of it. The recording's not gonna sound that good, remember, because I didn't put any effects on the vocals. Like it'll sound crispy clear, but it doesn't sound like it's completely mixed and mastered. Now back in the day, I used to make this big mistake where I used to show people unfinished work, and then I realized that people didn't like it, and I used to get all these negative like reviews. But I was so excited for them to see like what I had that I didn't realize like the quality of it was poor. So I made a decision a few years ago that I would never show anybody an unfinished product. I'm just gonna show you for the sake of you understanding like how important mixing is.
Todas las botellas me la traen a mí, por supuesto me la dan por free. Quieren mi billete es mi paca, pero lo protejo con acá. Gira, échate para atrás, si no quieres sentir mi ratata.
So, see, it sounds raw. It doesn't sound like that good quality, but this goes out to mixing engineer. They clean all the vocals up. They clean the chorus up, the verses, everything. So what I mean by clean up is that they go in and kind of level it out, take up any oohs, ahs, ums, or anything that kind of sounds weird or off, and then they put the effects on it that need to be on it. It might be auto-tune, it might be a de-esser, compressor, it might be any of that stuff. Some people just like auto-tune because it's easier, and they might have to shift your vocals to certain notes. So some people who try to hit high notes or low notes, if they can't hit those notes, then the engineer will take the literally look at the piano notes and see where they can kind of lift your vocal to or lower it to, or kind of hit whatever note that you're supposed to be hitting when you're singing. This is particularly important for singers. Really good engineers can take like a singer's voice and make it sound great. And that's why when you hear some people go live and they don't sound like they sound on record, you realize that the engineer did some funky stuff or some good stuff to make that sound a little bit better. So you really got to think about the type of engineer that you can work with. If you have an engineer that doesn't know what they're doing, then you might need to go somewhere else. Like everything, the most important thing that you got to remember is keeping your sound as professional as possible. Your music should sound just as good or even better than somebody's who's on YouTube or music that's on the radio. You should be able to compare your track to any one of those tracks, and that your mix should be as good or better, and your sound quality should be the same. Excuse me. So you want to think about always having the top quality music. I was sitting in the studio the other day working on a project with one of my artists, and he was it was like a random guy sitting next to the engineer, and I was telling him what I was doing, and he was just, after I explained what I was doing, he kind of said that I'm the quality assurance guy, and I thought that was a really great way to explain what I did, because when I take a look at all of my artists' songs, we were going through 10 songs, I realized that some songs were mixed well, some songs weren't mixed well, other songs were, a couple songs here were mastered, other songs weren't mastered, and I realized that not everybody has the ear to hear the difference. So it's really important for you to know the difference between mixing and mastering. And for a long time, one of my guys did not understand that. He just thought I rapped on the track. It sounds good to him, so he's going to publish it. I told him nobody's going to take him seriously if he does stuff like that. So yeah, make sure that you mix and master all of your stuff. All right. Yeah, so let me explain what these are so you guys can kind of know what they are. So the first blue track right here, that blue track is the actual beat. I labeled the next track, the green one, are ad-libs. The one below that are dubs. The one below that is verses. The one below that is chorus, and I actually called it chorus 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I only recorded the chorus basically on basically 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and that chorus will be copied and pasted into other sections of the song because I didn't need to do it over and over again. So what you're gonna see here is these are like sound waves. When you see the waves different sizes depending on on how you raise the gain, you'll have the lines distorted or not. So what you really want when you record is a flat line when nothing's happening. If you turn up the gain too much or the mix, you might have like a squiggly line here, which means you're getting some feedback from somewhere you're not supposed to be getting that. If you see that you're getting some type of squiggly line, something's wrong. That means there's some sound, there's something connected wrong, something is messed up. You should stop recording and then kind of go back and fix that, whatever's going on. Plug something in, unplug something in, plug it back in. Make sure that it's good, because if not, that's all gonna come out when you try to fix it. Now, there are some pretty good engineers out there that, like, if you had in your house, like if you had the AC running and the AC comes out and you're recording, there's some good engineers that can kind of make that AC sound like they can make that sound go away. But you really want to be able to get all of that under control before it comes out on your microphone. All right, so it's really important to be organized when you are mixing and mastering your stuff. Good engineers / producers, they have a folder for each person. All of their clients who come in, they make sure that there's a folder with that person's name on it. All their work goes in there. Every track has a name on it. And make sure that when you are doing this, that every part of that track is labeled so that you know what's going out and what's not. All right, so my man Kane has joined us, and Kane is gonna finally be on the show on time, and he's gonna talk a little bit about himself as an artist and all the things that he's gone through, because he's putting music out there, and we'll talk to him a little bit about what he's done. So without further ado. Yeah, so make sure that you get right in the studio.
What up, bro?
What's going on, bro?
Fine, I'm here.
He's here, finally. That's what's up.
Here.
Finally, we got cut off last time, but this time we're gonna be on, man. And we got a lot to talk about, man. I really want to know about you, man, your life, your desire to be an artist, and your trials and tribulations and everything, man, so that we really get to know you.
Of course.
It's important for the people who are listening to you to really know who you are, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, introduce yourself to everybody.
Man, I'm Kane, like I said, from right here in Boston.
Mm-hmm.
Can't even say right here in Boston. I moved around a lot, so I'm from all over the place, actually. I got if you listen to my music, I sound like, I don't know, I got a bunch of different vibes in my music. You can just tell I've been everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Cool, man. So tell us a little bit of your background, man.
Well, honestly, I'm a big, I grew up with my stepfather and my mother. My stepfather was like a big time reggae artist. He was a reggae musician down south. So I grew up playing a lot of instruments. Like I can actually read sheet music.
Mm-hmm.
I could play the trombone, the trumpet, saxophone. I could play multiple different instruments. I grew up in band and stuff like that. So I've always been able to music's always been my thing. I just ain't know rapping and singing was going to be it.
That's dope, man. So you actually make beats as well?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the process of making beats.
So honestly, most of the time I'll write a whole verse out with no beat, just a cappella. I'll just write out something, and then I'll go to FL and I'll make the beat out to what I was writing.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
And, me and my boy will sit down. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird how I do it sometimes. Like the song I just made, it sounds crazy, but I wrote the lyrics with no beat first.
Mm.
And then we made the beat later.
So when you, let's say, so you wrote the song out, right?
Mm-hmm.
What instrument do you start first with?
Say again?
What instrument do you start first with?
Oh, man. I like the background stuff. So before I get to drums, I usually go with the melody first.
Okay.
So whatever's like mainstream and whatever's holding the beat together is usually what I'll play first. So like it's usually like some orchestra or something, or like a violin or like something like that usually.
So it might be like a synth, right?
Yeah,
Tell
yeah.
us what synths are.
Huh?
What are synths?
So like the crashes or like I don't know the exact like dictionary term, but it's like you know I can show you what they are. They're like you know it's different quick sounds.
Okay.
Or like the background stuff.
Cool. So like you said, like some of it could be similar. It could be like a violin or something,
Yeah,
right?
it could be like a violin or like anything orchestra related or a wind instrument like a flute or cello or anything or a bass or anything like that. Guitar too.
All right, cool. So then after you get like the melody down, like what do you start working on next?
I probably start adding like the little oh, let's see, like the hi-hat for the drums. I usually have the hi-hat going in the background for a while before I really like add vocals to anything either.
All right, so hi-hats, for those people who don't know, hi-hats are especially important in trap music, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's a big thing. It kind of like holds your drum pattern together.
Yep, and that's the sound that's like
Yep. And some people got it quick to
yeah.
sometimes too, yeah.
So we're hearing more of that in particular with modern music, right?
Yeah, way more. Yeah, like in the 90s they weren't really, it was really just hard kicks and snares. Now it's more like they're really like initiating the hi-hat in songs.
Okay, okay. So so after you get like the hi-hats in, you got the melody, you got the hi-hats, and then like what do you start thinking about next?
I start kicking the bass line, whatever the bass is that's holding the drums together. So before, probably like 808s or something like that. Something to like carry it out, and then I'll probably add drops to the beat too. So like, because remember I made my verse 1st, so I already know what the words are. So it's like I add drops to the beat before I even fully put the song together because I already know what drops I want because I started with the lyrics first.
Okay.
Somebody, so most of the time.
What are your go-to accent instruments?
So you know what's crazy, right? Me and my boy were just talking about this yesterday. This is like my producer. His name's Paul. He's really, really good. He sits down, makes all my beats most of the time with me. He'll tell you like my biggest thing, like I'll always sneak the electric guitar in my songs.
Okay.
Always. And I don't know why. I have no idea why. I just like the sound.
Yeah, that's interesting because there's sometimes I'm listening to some song and I'll know that it's by a particular
producer because
they have like a certain signature thing that they always
and it's like certain artists do too now. Like if you notice like certain artists who stick with a steady producer, they have like a steady sound in most of their stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's interesting you say that because a lot of artists kind of go toe and toe with the producer. Like they always work similar. Either most of the songs are one producer, and they might like have 2 or 3 other songs by another producer.
Yeah, that's how they'll do it.
Yeah, and a lot of that might have to do with like branding, the branding of them as an artist or as a duo.
Yeah, I think that is a big thing too. It is like, do you want to like separate yourself sometimes?
Yeah, sometimes it's just chemistry too. Like they that producer because they have the best chemistry or they know each other for a long time.
years. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like right now I click with my producer. He's producing my whole EP right now. I got 8 songs done out of the 13 right now. Yeah, man. Trying to get this ready.
So cool. So this is great because people want to learn about the whole process, and yours particularly starts with the song, and then you go back and create the beat. Yep. So you've created all the parts of your beat, right? And they raw.
My fault.
In the sense that what's next after that? What happens after you
Oh man, so after that, so like for the last song that I did, it's a weird process because the last song that
it looks like we lost him a little bit. Hopefully we'll get him back in a few minutes. So maybe what he's going to talk about is how each kind.
Calling me. Give me one sec, bro. Yo, what up?
So basically, he might express a little bit about how each instrument needs to be mixed. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
All right. So for the most part, each instrument does have to be mixed down like separately before you bounce the whole beat itself.
You tell us. So this is for people who really don't know anything about music. So tell us what Just mixing and then explain what bouncing is.
So for the mixing part, right, just like your vocals, so you can add different levels of things to your vocals when you record music with your vocals. So like you can add a compressor, which like changes the output of your voice, or you could put delays on your voice. You can do the same thing with each instrument for a beat, literally. So you can add different compressors or delays or anything you want. You can even add auto tune to some extent to some certain instruments and stuff like that before you fully put it together. And I learned that it's much easier to mix instruments down separately and then have it fully together with their beat that you put together, then sequence it together and then bounce it like that. And bouncing is exporting your file from whatever software you're using. That's basically what bouncing is.
So people, for example, who make beats on FL Studio, FL Studio used to be Fruity Loops for those people who don't really know. So basically, they'll make the beat on there, and then exporting means taking it out of there and putting it maybe on your desktop or on your hard drive, like that. Then you'll have a file.
Yo, Tex, do me a favor. Can you go to the side door and let these niggas in, please?
So
Yo, he's about to come down. Give me one. These niggas are arguing over here. Yo, give me 1 second, bro. I'm about to let y'all in. All right.
Once you have that beat file, you got to think about what program you're going to record with, right? So what are you using?
So, you know, it's crazy. A lot of people are using Pro Tools to record their music. Me, personally, I like using Logic Pro.
Okay. Tell us.
I think, for me, I think it's because I can do more stuff to my vocals. That's just what I like. And also with Logic, you can literally edit your beats from FL.
Okay,
as well. Yeah, so with Pro Tools, I can't do that. With Logic, I can do that.
So I kind of noticed that for the people who prefer like Pro Tools, they also make their beats kind of like on Reason because they feel Reason syncs better with Pro Tools.
Exactly, yeah. So and I don't use Reason, I use FL. So Logic was just like the best move for me. And then I came from nothing. So I used to use GarageBand to record music and stuff like that. And GarageBand is like a little setback from Logic. So that's literally like, that's literally why I came into Logic.
All right, cool. So you went through the process of making the beat. Once you got that beat bounced / exported, right? You're going to upload it into Logic. Then tell us the next process.
So right after that, so most of the time I don't just record my lyrics. I just get my lyrics ready in a notepad or like in my phone or whatever. I won't record my lyrics, but I'll just know that I have them already. So then I'll finish up the beat and then I'll place the beat on Logic, mix it down, have it already mixed and ready to go. And then I'll I'll start, people are visiting me from out of town. Then, I'm doing a music interview. 1 second. And then, it's family. And then, hold on. And then after I do that, I'll probably record my vocals. And then, man, listen, smash it. I'll probably go, depending on the song. Yo, seriously? Depending on the song, I'll probably do the hook first. Record my hook and then hook ad-libs. And ad-libs are the background sound. For everybody that don't know, that's the background bull stuff that you hear. Everybody yelling and screaming in the background, their lyrics. And then he said, say please. Then after that, I'll probably throw my verse on there. You see what he said, say please. Then after that, I'll probably go ahead.
Tell us a little bit about, you're going into now what's called like song structure.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about like maybe your go-to song structure or what makes you write a song a certain way.
For most of my songs, it's usually one verse because I'm usually by myself. So it's usually one verse and then I wait for features, or if anybody doesn't jump on it right away, I'll leave the space enough for another 16. But for the most part, I'm doing one hook for myself, and I usually write my own stuff. So my hook first, then my verse, and then probably another hook, and then let the beat ride for a little bit. Okay.
So do you have do you do any intros? Do you?
Oh yeah, I got plenty of songs where I like sat down and took like intros from like movies. I took like a skit from Boys in the Hood a couple years ago. Like stuff like that, and then like my producer, he'll sit there and he'll put like mad drops in the beat, and drops are like different parts of the beat where like certain instruments will be taken out. And stuff like that, and then we'll do intros like that, or do outros to the beat like that too as well. Like we'll put like there's a foam filter you can use on Logic, and it like distorts the beat a little bit, and it'll also distort your voice, and it'll change the whole dynamic of a song. So you'll go from something really, really catchy and fast, and it'll slow the whole entire song down. And on my new songs like that.
All right, cool. So once you get through all the mixing, what's the next step?
You said once I get past mixing?
Yeah.
Oh man, probably just listening to it over and over again to see what I like and what I don't like.
Okay. Do you do your own mastering?
Nah, I let my friend Paul do that.
Okay. So some
you gotta have like I think you should have multiple people listen in when you're doing mix and master. I don't think it should just be your ears ever.
I agree 100%. So tell us, people don't know, a lot of times people have a difficult time understanding the difference between mixing and mastering. Can you kind of explain a little bit?
All right, so mixing you can do right after a song. Mixing can take 5 to 10 minutes. Mastering a song, you have to literally go in depth, take out the breaths in your vocals. You have to go in and literally do each step separately. That's literally, and that sometimes that can take hours.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then like, what's mastering?
Me, I'm not too. Listen, I don't master my stuff.
About mastering, so the thing about mastering is basically bringing your song to a sonic level that is finished and polished, that can be radio ready. So
radio ready.
So essentially, if your song might be completely mixed and you think it sounds good enough to go, but when you play that radio or somewhere that's published, it might be lacking in
certain areas.
Yeah, like it's supposed to sound big. Yeah. It might sound too low. The volume might be too low, so you want to raise up the volume. Or basically, what they did back in the day is that they had 2 tracks, and they would basically mess with the levels of each, so to get them perfectly for radio or for being placed on vinyl or whatever. So the mastering, sometimes there's engineers that just do mastering, and those are the people that are good at that. And
that's what I got to do.
Yeah, so that's really important, man. So for everybody out there who wants to become an artist, there's a lot of steps that we just went through. Make sure that you think about the process of writing your song, the beat, and then mixing, and then mastering, right? So
that's probably the step that I'm at now. I need to figure out mixing and mastering.
So Kane, tell us a little bit about your music, what inspires you, and what things you're excited about.
Man, my music lately, man, it's been a whole change. I've been changing up. I don't know, listening to all the new rappers coming out and just kind of like mixing up the flow that I already had and just trying to add like a new little flavor I got going on right now. Older songs, I was more rapping. Like each song was more like raps, full 16 bars of just like, no flow change, just going in rapping, just, But now it's like I could change up my flow to different things. Now I'm a little older. I got a little bit more experiences and things like that. Now it's like much easier to go in the booth and just change my whole scheme up. Mm-hmm. And I don't really have a beat preference neither. Mm-hmm. Like it could be just anything.
Cool. So, do you only rap on beats that you made, or do you?
No, I got a bunch of probably before this year, I had way more songs with just like YouTube beats where I just go to YouTube and just find beats. And then my boy's been making beats for years. I just never sat down with them and fully like discussed like really doing a full project till this year. And I don't know why. I really don't know what motivated me to really like push myself to do it again.
Yeah, that's
to be honest.
So yeah, talk a little bit about that, because sometimes artists lose motivation, right?
Yeah.
Talk about that. Like sometimes we get writer's block too. So tell us a little bit about your struggles with music.
3 years ago, I lost my brother, so that kind of like pushed me to make like crazy music, but only for a set period of time until, I kind of like pushed myself to like move forward with my life. And then after that, I just stopped making music. I literally just stopped writing, stopped recording, literally for like 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then now recently, I just started. I don't know, the writer's block just disappeared out of nowhere, just like on a Tuesday. I can just start writing today.
Did some of that music that you created reflect some of the pain that you...
Oh yeah, the new song I just made is a perfect example.
Mm. So it seems like some music that you do is like more like therapeutic to you, right?
Yeah, way more. And I think everybody's music should be, or if it isn't, they're lying to you. Yeah. Because if they're going to you're going to the studio for a reason.
Yeah. So I mean, tell us a little bit about like presenting your music to the public. Like, how do you feel? Is that something that you want to
Oh
do? Is
yeah,
it
that's a big thing for me. I'm really one of those people who really never really care or give a shit what people think. So like that's just like one of those things. And like I'm probably my biggest critic. I listen to my own music and I'll be like, damn, I don't like this, and I won't push it if I don't like it. But if like, you know, some of my friends say they like certain songs and stuff like that, I'll push the song out.
okay? So what are you working on? Is there anything you want to show us, and then you could
Yeah,
talk?
I'll show you the new track I just did. It's called Nights in the Cellar. And I'll give you a little bit of background information. There was the stairs that used to lead down to like this little like electrical thing behind my house, and like we always as kids hung out there, you know, whether it was manhunt, that was a hiding spot, or whether it was your first blunt where you were smoking, or if you're drinking, hiding out from your mom, you gotta get away, you know, stuff like that is always a spot to go. And this song is just like a reminder of that.
Cool, man. So let's hear that.
Gotcha. Oh, nice.
Had to make it on my own, got hard by the stove. Had to wear dirty clothes, summer nights got cold. Never brother gone, couldn't move on. Now nigga hurt so cold. Can't be tripping off the loss, fuck the cost, nigga still run it off. Had to sit back, wait,
Okay.
anticipate. Ain't all the hate, losing his faith. Can't catch a break, this shit's a race, can't win the race. Could've gave up, but I did not. Had to change on my ways. Couldn't keep up, at the same time, just to make it through the days. Wanted it all, touching the stars. See it one day, living the wrong, no snitch on my lawn. Staying out the way, they wanna ball, but don't shoot off. Man, my haters don't play. Showing no love, no more drugs, wanna be home someday. Had to make it on my own, got hot by the stove. Had to wear dirty clothes, summer nights got cold. Never really gone, couldn't move on. Now nigga heart so cold. Can't be driven off the loss, took the cost, nigga still run it off. The work hard for the cake, came in late, but straight to the bank. They looked me to drown, but then I was found. Swag, tripping out the lane. Straight to the bank, if this was the case. There's no escape. Look on their faces, this is my place. But niggas here to stay. My city they go, I gotta move out. My city full of hate. Can't just baby, look at me wheezy. Stay with the dream, stay up the street. Niggas on beef, bitch, I stay with the stage. Stay in the gutter, that's where my mother was. Stay in place. Had to make it on my own, got hot by the stove. Had to wear dirty clothes, summer nights got cold. Now my brother gone, couldn't move on. Now nigga heart so cold. Can't be driven off the loss, fuck the cost, nigga still run it up. Oh God, by the stove. Had to wear dirty clothes, summer nights got cold. Now my brother gone, couldn't move on. Now nigga heart so cold. Can't be driven off the loss, fuck the cost, nigga still run it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, man.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
A
you, bro. Like,
lot of people love, man. I really like the lyrics. Yo,
trying something new, man.
yeah, it's real, man. I mean, freestyles. It's up to you if you want to freestyle a little bit, but
That's what y'all want.
hey,
That's
freestyle.
what
Go.
they want.
I would love to
That's
hear.
what they want. Uh, you got a beat?
I could pull something up, but you probably hear it better on your side. Pull up
All
whatever.
right, let me see. I'll just play a random beat. Y'all want a random beat?
They just want whatever.
They just want whatever.
You can do what you want.
Let's see. Let me find a beat, man. How much time they got?
We got 15 minutes. I can freestyle until I pull the beat up.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to find a beat real quick. Hold on, maybe I can find one.
Chilling with young Kane, you know he's insane in the brain.
Uh-huh.
It knows I ain't like Lil Zane, cause I'm a lover. You know my rhymes is clever. Oh, Loue Musica always getting that cheddar. I do it better. I got that high quality music, not some loser shit like you be doing. I do it. I do it sick, I do it slick. Everybody knows that I'm out here getting bread. My girl getting some head. And I'm gonna leave it like that.
I need to hear a beat, man. I can't just go off the top like no beat. They just want me to go crazy. Hold on,
Whatever, man, off the dome, man. Me and Prezi, man, we was doing all these
Nah, no, he was just talking to me. He just got on another song for my EP. We just did another one.
We went to all these radio stations and we was they always asked us to freestyle after, and we had to because people was listening. So we just
if y'all want to hear me freestyle, go add me, man. I'll jump on my live and I'll jump on a freestyle on a beat. I need to hear a beat, bro.
All right, it's cool, man. Well, let us hear some more of your tracks, man. I really like the type of music that you make is that music that you really feel because the lyrics hit your heart. You know what I'm saying? It's like that real shit. People in the saying that that's real music. Not only that, like I like the beat. When I thought about some of the way it broke down, and, you like intentionally put some like distortion in part of it.
Yep. That's that phone voxer filter I was talking about. It distorts the beat too.
Yeah, I thought that was really dope.
Thank you, bro.
So I mean, let's hear something else, man.
I got y'all. I'll let y'all hear shit from the EP right now. Let's see. Okay. Nah. Yes, she let it drip when I would. She feeling low with the sauce. She on her knees like she praying. I'm saying they calling me God. She call me baby, I know that she lying. Step back, I'm a baller. Even the steps to the niggas on water. Frozen, I stay with the daughter. I'm gonna work for the kitchen. In the sink like this. Bring my guys out the prison. No name, they just bitches. If I up it, go missing. Big pole like I'm fishing. Big shark to the fish. These hoes wishing. Was on the block from killers. Now I read books of my children. Young nigga get it. House party at the loft. Bitch nigga get lost. Sick long prison bars. Earn a bitch from the loss. Had to aim for the sauce. Stay strong for the cause. Niggas frozen to the frost. Niggas smoke like exhaust. Niggas acting won't play. Run up on them. Got a nigga on pause. All hard, I had to stay out late. Niggas stay wherever it ain't safe. Young nigga couldn't leave the gate. But you can't relate. Food on my plate. Had to get 8. Before I can go out and play. Get rich. Be broken a day. Smoke all the nuts. We ain't have nothing but shake. Had to go bake for the cake. Stack your bags in the safe. Nigga won't run up and play. With a 9 on my waist. Little nigga get a race. All my niggas on purse. Pull up nigga in the search. Put a nigga on the shirt. Sign a brother in the dirt. Couple cousins hold the hearse. Bitch nigga get murked. She let her drip like water. She fell in love with the sauce. She on her knees like she praying. I'm saying they calling me God. She call me baby, I know that she lying. Step back, I'm a baller. These bitches thirsty, the niggas on water. Frozen, I came with your daughter. She let her drip like water. She fell in love with the sauce. She on her knees like she praying. I'm saying they calling me God. She call me baby, I know that she lying. Step back, I'm a baller. These bitches thirsty, the niggas on water. Frozen, I stay with your daughter. You can go, that's a pick up roll. Get your Peter rolling over all shit. Me and mine's gonna draw the line. Arms raised high on some bullshit. In the lane, put them in the game. My early niggas done ran in. Shout out to Prezi, you know. Bloodstains on the canvas. Those old days with the same Blake. I was in place like a sandwich. I was signing off with no bandit. Barely bopping, I'm prancing. That drink on me with a booty bag and a Velcro. Friends all in your shell toes. Like I'm a fool, there's a hell no. Got some red like an elbow. You know I'm switching lanes. 40 take it brains. I don't play no games. I don't say no names. Put your pussy ass on a chain. Put your pussy ass on a chain. She let her drip like water. She fell in love with the stars. She on her knees like she praying. I'm saying they calling me God. She call me baby, I know that she lying. Step back and swing her skin.
Okay.
She on her drip like water. She fell in love with the stars. She on her knees like she praying. I'm saying they calling me God. She call me baby, I know that she lying. Step back, I'm a baller. These bitches thirsty, the niggas on water. Frozen, I stay with your daughter. Hey man, before I go, Lou, man, I got a song that I'm gonna just let y'all hear the preview for it.
Yeah, man. Tell us.
You know, it's called On, but it,
before you get into that, tell us how that collaboration came about.
All right, so that collaboration, right? So my brother-in-law, presidential grown, he got his own movement going on. You know what I'm saying? His own movement. Brought his movement to me. I brought my movement to him. He said, yeah, we gonna make this work. And this song came about, right? Literally, like I said, I write lyrics before I do beats. So I sat down in here, we wrote down verses to each other, and we were spitting them back and forth. The song originally was a back and forth kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
And then I was like, hold on, wait. I got a hook. And then I started spitting this hook. He was like, whoa, that's catchy. We just got to find a beat. We went on YouTube. And I was like, hold on, I got a friend. Called my friend Paul. Paul was like, let me hear what y'all got. We spit it out loud, a cappella. Paul made the beat while we was on the phone on speaker. We sat down. Then Paul, hold on, check this out. Paul makes all my beats. Paul hasn't been to my house in like 3 years. We don't even sit next to each other.
Hey.
We exchange emails and phone, and we FaceTime. That's how me and him work.
In Houston, man, we don't see each other. We just work.
We just work. You know what I'm saying? We just work from a distance, man. I would like him to come here, but we never have the time.
Right, bet. So yeah, man. One thing real quick before you get into the new track. There's a sample on there that I recognize. Tell the fans a little bit about that. It's a sample.
So the way that, all right. So usually the way that we do things, right? If my boy Paul, he'll be like, how do you want this beat to go? Do you want me to, pick a sample from something before, or what do you guys want to do? And I was like, for the most part, most of my beats actually do come from old school stuff, because I'm an old school kid. We just heavy on, like he knows that we heavy on the music right now. So we just, every time I hear the beat, or like every time I hear like something of myself coming up, I usually ask my producer to be like, yeah, I want like old school stuff on there, like something from the 90s or anything like that.
Yeah. So that was a 3 6 Mafia dropping.
3 6 Mafia, yeah.
Cool. All right, well, produce your next song. Let's get with it.
So I'm doing a song. The feature isn't on there yet.
Okay.
But his name's on the track list though, but he's not on there yet. But I'm gonna let y'all hear my part.
Bet.
This is like a little different to me though. Want it all. Audemars, rich, drip, death, rich, clips, health, risk, big nine, don't miss, big nine, kill, switch, eyes low when I move, get low when I shoot, niggas aim for your roof and leave stains on your stoop, and I got the proof that killing niggas on the news. White man in a coupe, iceberg for the noose, weather the storm, MP for the dawn, big Drake, get him gone, say some more, open the more, gotta cut the grass with a torch, jump off the porch, on my shirt is a horse, one-on-one got the sauce, little nigga on my boss, big pole ran him off, gripping the head like a sewing, just like my blows, you gon' blow it, I'm cold, top down when it's snowing, lights on the dash will be going, man down. Tuck it back and reloaded it. Mask on, hitting corners, straight to the border. Scream, see, baby, my neighbors is frozen and frozen on water. Get online, big nine on my side. Don't go outside. These niggas be talking that shit, but they ain't ready to die. If that was the case, when we pull up these little niggas, they hiding. I'm on the renty and bendy and swerving, so there's no time for online. And my feature, waiting on the feature.
Hey, man, people really like that beat, man. People in the comments just saying that's just fire.
Thank you, man. Thank you, y'all, man. This EP drops sometime in September. I got like 4 more songs to do. I would let y'all hear more, but man, that's just too much right now.
Hey, man. What about videos, man? What's going on? You planning on
videos? That song that I played you, that first song that I played is called Nights in the Cellar. That's I'm working on that music video right now. Music videos in the works right now.
All right, so what's tell us a little bit about what you think in the video is gonna look like.
So right now, so I'm trying to go back to my neighborhood and be able to shoot that video like at the cellar where I actually used to be. You know what I'm saying? My little brother smoked his first blunt there like before he passed. Just everything, man. My daughter and sons rode their bike around there. You know what I'm saying? So like, just that area, I rode my fucking bike around there. So it'd be nice to just, you know what I'm saying, shoot my video there.
Yeah, some people want to read you, man. They want to see what's up with your tats.
All my tattoos. My older brother Jesse passed. Rest peacefully, Jesse. My little brother passed. His name is Ija. R.I.P. Ija. I'm from 101. It's 101. I was born in 91. Grandmother's name, just a whole bunch of, you know, a whole bunch of gang stuff.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, man.
We're gonna do another interview on the HD camera, man. We'll publish that, you know what I'm saying? So you can put that on your page and all that. Real professional and all that. And hey man, we support your movement, man. And
Appreciate you.
We here, man, for the promo. We here for any resources you need, and appreciate you telling the fans how things are done, how things are created, you know, in the creative. And so I know you got company. I'm not gonna hold you.
Yeah.
Coming on, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Let people know where they can find your music at, though.
Oh yeah, go on SoundCloud _Young Kane.
Cool. Drop it in the comment box too, so they can hit you up.
I got you right here. Yeah, man, it's _Young Kane. I mean, you can find me on the gram, Kane101 _ actually _Kane101.
All right, y'all.
All right, Brody.
Hey, bro. Blessings. I'll see you later.
Appreciate you, bro. Hey, y'all have a good
one. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and there you have it. Young King finally came on. All right, if we got time, I'll show y'all some of my new project, reggaeton project. This is for the Latin folks out there. We got a couple minutes left until 8:01. I will plug in a couple songs that you're gonna check out. All right. All right. Well, presidential. Oh yeah, Presidential Grown has an announcement to make. So let me just put them on real quick.
What's yo, what's up, man? Dudes ain't crashing it right, man.
Saw Young King.
We paving.
Oh yeah, I see the new shirts. The merch.
We paving. Heavy on the paving.
Oh yeah.
Man, today's a G day. Today's a gangster day. You feel me? Video dropping at 9:30 on YouTube. Train to go. On my Billy's Train to Go. You know what the fuck is going on. Shout out to my man Young Kane, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Loue. You know what I mean? That's just what we doing, man. We're gonna be making hits. You saying?
9:30.
9:30. 9 motherfucking 30. You heard? Okay,
what song?
Yeah, the gang in members. You heard? Members. You know, bros, eh? Yeah, slum shit, you heard? We here, you heard?
Hey man, tell us about your movement. When you got about a minute left, but tell us about your movement.
Yeah, man, listen, man, I just dropped the mixtape called Meet the Groans, man. Everything presidential, man. That's how we doing it, man. Shout out to my gronies, man. You know what I'm saying? Today's motherfucking our G Day, our B Day. You know what I'm saying? We was paved today, man. You know what I'm saying? That's what we doing. We fight against social injustice and oppression. Anybody that don't like that, suck a dick. Don't give a fuck. We here. What we doing is bigger than music. This shit is like, you know what I'm saying? It's like reaching out to the community and bringing them to something that they could really like. It's ain't no gang shit, no nothing like that. Anybody could relate to that. If it ain't grown, leave it alone.
Hey.
Childish ways. I'm watching dudes on here trolling and doing all type of childish shit, man. We ain't got time for that. We paving. You feel what I'm saying? If I look back, I'm going to be stuck in time like a gargoyle. That ain't what I am. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't nothing less than a vampire. I'm a day walker, you heard? Straight like that. So that's what we doing. But heavy on the Lottie.
Hey,
my Billy's Train to Go tonight, 9:30, man. Run it up with me, man.
I'm
trying to hit 1K. I'm trying to hit 1K in a day.
How much them shirts go for?
These $30. I got the real